Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
Jays Nation, let me stop you right here, because this is one of those moments where the noise of the off-season tries to disguise something far more serious. This is not a Twitter rumor whispered into existence by boredom. This is not speculative smoke rising from a fan base still bruised by October. This is real, it is uncomfortable, and it points straight back at the heart of the Toronto Blue Jays organization. If Bo Bichette even begins to glance toward the exit door, and if the Philadelphia Phillies quietly become that magnetic pull, then this is no longer about a shortstop changing scenery. This is about control slipping through the fingers of a franchise that believed it had finally stabilized itself. Because here's the part that should make everyone in Toronto sit up a little straighter. This didn't start today. It didn't start with a quote taken out of context or a rumor dropped for clicks. It started the moment a coach was allowed to walk without fully understanding the emotional infrastructure he was holding together. When a player of Bichette's caliber shows interest in another organization because of a coach you let leave, the problem isn't the Phillies. The problem is internal. And the most dangerous question is the one no one wants to ask out loud. How did the Blue Jays misread the damage this would cause? Stay with me, because this story has backroom conversations, bruised egos, misjudged priorities, and consequences that stretch far beyond one roster decision. But before we go any deeper, if you truly follow Blue Jays news and want honest, unfiltered discussion, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. The Blue Jays report is still growing, and being here now means you're part of the foundation, not just a passerby when things get loud. On the surface, the news is simple, almost harmless if you skim it too quickly. Bob Nightingale of USA Today reported that Bo Bichette has shown interest in playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, and that this interest intensified after the Phillies hired Don Mattingly as their bench coach. Don Mattingly. The same Don Mattingly who spent the last 3 years on the Blue Jays bench. The same Don Mattingly who built a close, trusted relationship with Bichette inside the clubhouse. The same Don Mattingly Toronto allowed to walk away. Now here's the pivot point, the detail that changes everything. This does not mean Bo Bichette is already gone. But it does mean something shifted in his mind. And once that internal compass moves, it rarely snaps back to true north. In Major League Baseball, relationships matter far more than contracts like to admit. Players don't choose teams based only on cities or payrolls. They choose environments. They choose trust. They choose who they believe in when things go wrong. And what Nightingale quietly exposed is that Mattingly was that person for Bichette. Think about the timing of this. The Blue Jays are coming off one of their strongest seasons in years. Competitive stability finally seemed real. The roster looked balanced, the window felt open, and yet there's an unsettling sense that the front office isn't as desperate to lock down Bichette as you would expect. That alone should ring alarm bells. Bo Bichette isn't just another star. He's homegrown. He's symbolic. He represents the post-rebuild identity of this team. He's the kind of player franchises usually protect at all costs. And yet, he has never been treated as completely untouchable. Not publicly. Not emotionally. And players feel that. Always. From an analytical standpoint, he's still in his prime. The talent is unquestionable. The contract would be expensive, yes, but justified for a team serious about sustained contention. On paper, this should be straightforward. But baseball is played by humans, not spreadsheets. And this is where the real fracture appears. Don Mattingly was not just a bench coach ticking boxes on a staff chart. He was a stabilizing force. A bridge between generations. A voice with enough credibility to be blunt without fracturing the room. When someone like that leaves and you don't replace the role properly, a void forms. And voids in clubhouses are dangerous because they don't announce themselves. They quietly expand. What no one in Toronto wants to admit is that the Blue Jays have been stacking small, structural losses behind the scenes. Nothing catastrophic. Nothing headline-worthy. Just erosion. And erosion is far more dangerous than collapse because it's easier to ignore. You tell yourself it's fine, that it won't matter, that talent will compensate. Until suddenly it doesn't. Now look at this from Philadelphia's point of view. The Phillies aren't just collecting players. They're collecting connections. They understand that championship windows are psychological as much as tactical. It's not just about who's in the lineup or rotation. It's about comfort. It's about trust. It's about knowing that when the bat goes cold or the pressure spikes, there's someone in the room who understands you. If Bichette sees Mattingly as that safe harbor, then Philadelphia stops being just another option. It becomes an idea. And once an idea takes root in a star player's mind, it grows. What makes this especially uncomfortable for Jays fans is the sense of passivity. There's no thunderous declaration from the front office that Bo Bichette is the cornerstone. No unmistakable signal that this is their guy, no matter what. And in modern baseball, silence is not neutral. Silence speaks. Let's strip this down to its core with some straight talk. What does Toronto gain by keeping Bichette? Elite production. Identity continuity. Stability. Confidence in the long-term plan. What do they lose if he leaves? Far more than numbers on a stat sheet. They lose narrative. They lose belief in the project. They lose internal morale. And Bichette, if he goes, gains something equally powerful. A sense of value. A coach he trusts. An organization that currently looks more aligned with winning now. Here's the bitter truth. None of this needed to happen. This isn't about an ungrateful player chasing greener grass. This is about relationship management. Winning organizations understand that staff, coaches, and informal leaders are the glue holding everything together. You don't lose those pieces casually and expect no one to feel it. Toronto underestimated that reality. You can already see the fan base fracturing. Some say Bichette is overrated. Others accuse the front office of playing with fire. And then there's that quiet group watching closely because they've seen this film before. It never starts with a blockbuster departure. It starts with discomfort. And discomfort, left unattended, doesn't resolve itself. So now the dilemma sharpens. Do the Blue Jays react decisively? Or do they watch another star begin to imagine a different jersey? Jays Nation, here's the raw truth. No one is saying Bo Bichette is already gone. But when a player of his level expresses interest elsewhere, the clock starts ticking. And clocks are unforgiving during a championship window. The future is still open, but it won't wait forever. I want to hear from you. Should Toronto do everything possible to keep Bichette, or has something already broken beyond easy repair? Drop your thoughts in the comments, join the conversation, and strengthen this community. Like, share, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report, because these are the moments that define franchises. I'm Liam, and I bleed blue.